What's going on, everybody? It's your bro from America, so call me the American bro. So this upload is about something somebody sent me, and I'm gonna touch on a little something else too during this, but I'm gonna start with there's a video. I'm gonna include a link in the description to it, and basically the video was telling transgendered people not to disclose them being transgendered. So essentially, in a nutshell, it was telling people, this person was telling people to be dishonest and not to be upfront with people and to attempt to deceive people, because that's what I see it as. If you're not willing to honestly tell somebody something like that, then you're hoping to deceive them long enough that eventually they come to accept it. And like I said, I will include a link in the description to that, because I think that deception is one of the worst things that you can do. And when you deceive a person on that level, when you deceive a male on that level, or a female for that matter, when you deceive people like that, nobody takes that as just a basic sign of disrespect. When it gets to that level, at that point, people take that as a shot at their ego and as a shot at themselves. And I know that trans people the trans activists like to use the excuse of being afraid of violence if they tell the truth and if they're honest. But all I'm going to say is this: I call bullshit, and I say that's a crock of shit, because I'll tell you something straight up. Let me tell you something, Mean Jane. I have enough experience with these kind of things to know that if you tell somebody something like that, but you tell them in public, that person is not going to violently lash out. That person is going to get up and they are going to walk outside because they don't want to make a scene in public. Either they're like me and they don't want to make a scene because they don't like making a scene in public, or they don't want to make a scene in public because they're embarrassed. But regardless of that, if you tell the person that straight out from the start, and you do it in a public place, or you do it before you even meet the person, you don't have anything to worry about, really. You'll be fine, okay? They talk about people having transgender fetishes on different websites and things like that. Okay, I can see that. I worked directly with a lot of sex workers, some who were transgendered. And what I can definitely say from what I heard from these people is that trans sex workers are a commodity right now, and they pretty much always have been a fetish. So I could see that trans people are fetishized on different social media platforms and dating platforms and things like that. I get that. But when you are here trying to identify as and claim to be a woman, don't get upset because you're being treated the way women are treated, even though they should not be treated that way. Even though women should not be treated that way, they are treated that way because of how they were born in something that they can't help. And it is not the fault of women that they get preyed upon. It is not the fault of anyone that they get preyed upon, that is male or female. That being said, the only reason trans people are preyed upon the way that they are preyed upon is because they are passing themselves off as female and claiming to be that. If they are fetishized, the reason they are fetishized is because they are presenting as a female with a little something extra. Be real. It's what it is. That's why. Now, I've already said what I had to say about that. I call bullshit on any of their claims about it's safer not to disclose anything, I call bullshit. Like I said, I'll include a link in the description of that. Now I'm going to get to my other issue. The hypocrisy and how hypocritical this trans movement is. So, they claim that gender and sex are not the same. And they claim that it's nothing but an identity thing. And again, that it's psychological and that gender and sex are not malleable. So, if gender and sex are not the same, then why is it that they seek to abolish single-sex spaces in the name of their gender ideology? If gender and sex are not the same, then why is it that I can say 90% of these cases, I haven't seen them all, every single one that I've seen has tried to correlate the two, except for like one or two people haven't, but generally everyone else has tried to correlate sex and gender. If sex and gender are not the same, then why is it that so many trans people decide that they need to mutilate their own genitals or have their genitals mutilated in order to finally be able to accept themselves for who they are or who they believe themselves to be? If sex and gender are the same, why is it that when a trans person is post-op, they have to dilate their manginas on a regular basis in order to prevent the wound from closing? Is that because it's artificial? Is that because it's merely a replica? Because that's what it seems like to me. If sex and gender are not the same thing, then why is it that so many trans people are using gender to attack sexuality? Why is it that people of transgendered beliefs are attacking people with specific sexualities for having a sexual preference if gender and sex are not the same? I just wanted to sound off a little bit while I was heading out taking a walk. And sorry that it's dark. It's pretty early in the morning, as a matter of fact. I probably shouldn't be awake, but I am because I just got off work. So, with that being said, this is your American bro here, because you know I'm your bro from America. Deuces, signing off.